Today, we are going to Old San Juan. Come on, let's go. So if you come to San Juan in a cruise, this would be the area where you would actually arrive. And from here, it's very easy to move. You don't even need a taxi or an Uber, because the places I'm going to show you today, you can just walk to them. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Chronicles and Cocktails. I'm Josué, the spirited historian, and today we are in Old San Juan. But we are at the cruise ports because I'm going to show you 7 places or sites that you should visit if you come to San Juan during your cruise. So let's get to it. The best thing about Old San Juan is that you don't need Uber, taxis, or tour buses. Right in front of the ports, there's Ocean Lab Brewing Company. They have their brewing facilities in Isla Verde, and they have a restaurant too. My wife and I usually go, especially on Sundays after church. Also, when we have friends that are visiting Puerto Rico, we bring them to the restaurant of Ocean Lab. But this one right here, right behind me, that beautiful building right there, it's like their beer bar. So I suggest you to stop and have a drink before you start walking. That way, you refresh yourself. They do have food and they do have their bar there. So this is a really cool stop. By the way, no sponsorship here. I just tell you my favorites. The city begins almost immediately after stepping out of your cruise ship, and your first stop should absolutely be Paseo de la Princesa. This beautiful promenade follows the old city walls and was originally developed while Puerto Rico was still part of Spain, near the old prison and defensive structures of San Juan. Today, it is one of the most relaxing walks in the Caribbean. You'll usually find local artisans, musicians, piragua vendors, coffee stands, and sometimes live performances depending on the day. You can eat here too. If you want your first real Puerto Rican flavor, this is a great place to grab a piragua, a fresh tropical juice, a local coffee, a piña colada, or even have a full lunch. So I'm at the Paseo La Princesa. And at Paseo La Princesa, there's this building right behind me. Today is the actual tourism company of Puerto Rico. But back in the days, around 1854, it was built as a local prison. It served as a prison until 1960. Then it undertook renovations. And after renovations, in 1990, it became the Puerto Rico Tourism Office. And this is one of the first stops that you should make. Walk around, see the statues, and you're going to walk into a small trail that is going to lead you to the gate of San Juan. So let's go that way. And the further you walk, the more the city slowly begins to reveal itself. And I just wanted to stop here to show you that piece of land over there. That is Bacardi Distillery, the very famous Bacardi Distillery. And there's a ferry you can take from the cruise ship to Cataño and then go into the Bacardi Distillery. But for now, let's keep on walking to our second place. This is the San Juan Gate, one of the most historic entrances in the Americas. For centuries, governors, bishops, merchants, soldiers, and travelers entered the city through this exact location. Second stop, the San Juan Gate. And this gate was the main entrance to San Juan, the city. And there has been a form of entrance since the 1540s. But this door, as we see it today, except probably for the red color, was here since the 1600s, right here. Now, that is history. And this was the place where the ships would come in and run in front of the gate. And if you were a dignitary or the bishop or a high official in the Spanish crown, this is the entrance you would use to go into the city. Behind these walls was one of Spain's most important military cities in the Caribbean. And once these gates closed at night, you were either inside the city or outside the protection of San Juan. This area is one of those places where Old San Juan stops feeling like a tourist destination and starts feeling ancient. Take your time here. Look at the walls. Look at the ocean. And realize people have been walking through this gate for over 400 years. Now let's keep on walking. For spot number 3. So as you go up the Caleta, you will eventually, and not too far along, arrive at the cathedral. And this is one of the first cathedrals in the Americas. As you walk up the Caleta after you pass through the San Juan Gate, you begin entering the spiritual and political heart of Old San Juan. This area around the cathedral and the plaza has been active for centuries. And the Cathedral of San Juan Bautista is not just beautiful, it's historically massive. This is one of the oldest churches in continuous use in the Western Hemisphere, from North to South America. Inside rests Juan Ponce de Leon himself, governor of Puerto Rico and the discoverer of Florida. And around you are layers of history. ¿De qué sabores tiene?
Coco, parcha y Rainbow.
Dame uno de coco. 3.
Gracias, mi príncipe.
Gracias. Ice cream. This is Calle del Cristo, and in some parts of it, it's the most photographed street in Puerto Rico. And honestly, for good reason. This is where Old San Juan becomes cinematic. The balconies, the bluestone streets, the churches, the small bars, the hidden restaurants. Everything here feels layered with history. Right nearby is the statue of Juan Ponce de Leon, cast from the metal of British cannons after the failed British attack on San Juan in 1797. Then, just steps away, you reach Iglesia San José. This church dates back to the 1500s, making it one of the oldest surviving church structures in all of the Americas. And here is another stop. This whole area with the San Jose Church, and right back there, the statue of Juan Ponce de Leon. And yes, I've talked about this in other episodes, especially the one about Old San Juan and the churches and Juan Ponce de Leon, but it's still a very good place to stop. And then you have the totem, which is erected right on top of what used to be the old cemetery next to the church. And that church right there, it's a very old church. Juan Ponce de Leon used to be buried there and then moved to the cathedral. This route, as of right now, is not costing you anything. You can go around the edge of Old San Juan and still have a good feel of what Old San Juan is all about. And in every stop, there's actually places to eat and drink, so you won't go hungry or thirsty. And while many cruise visitors rush through Old San Juan, this is actually one of the best areas to slow down. Now let's keep on walking to the next stop. So the fifth stop, San Felipe del Morro. This is actually the first fort constructed in Puerto Rico by Spain. Not the biggest though. The biggest is next. But this one you should stop. And you can stay around in front of the grounds and still see the 500 plus year walls. Or you can go in. I think it costs about 10 bucks. I'll put over here the actual price when I search it. But it is very interesting. This is the actual first fort, and it was the one who defended Puerto Rico against British, Dutch, and all kinds of attacks. So this is definitely a must stop. Officially called Castillo San Felipe del Morro, this fortress protected San Juan for centuries against pirates, privateers, and invading empires. The construction began in 1539. Think about that for a second. This fortress was already standing here before the United States even existed. And from these walls, Spain defended one of the most strategic ports in the Caribbean. You can still see cannons, tunnels, lookout posts, and the famous garitas overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Even if you don't enter the fort itself, just standing outside it's worth the walk. And if you need a break, this is the perfect stop for water, ice cream, or a cold drink before continuing the route. Because yes, there's still more to see. This is quite a long walk, but the scenery, oh, there is so much to see. You have the Atlantic Ocean on your left. And then the city buildings, 400, 300, 200 years old. And you can see the colors of San Juan. You walk by galleries, museums. And on your left, you follow the path of the old city walls, which you can still see. Actually, the walk from El Morro to San Cristobal is as much fun as any of the other stops. So this is our sixth stop of the day, and it's just been a couple of hours. You still have time to walk and see other stuff, but these are the 7 things I think you should see if you don't have a lot of time, or if you don't want to be out in the heat the whole time. These are perfect. And if you stop at San Cristobal Fort, this would be the second U.S. National Historic Site and World Heritage Site you've visited today. So, why not? I'm inside a garita, And these garitas or sentry boxes were the place where the soldiers stood in here, looked out, and fired if he needed to. We are at San Cristobal Fort, and this fort is not the first one, but it's the largest. Most visitors know El Morro, but many completely miss San Cristobal. And honestly, that's a mistake. San Cristobal is actually the largest fortification built by Spain in all of the Americas. Its job was different from El Morro. El Morro defended the sea. San Cristobal defended the land approaches to the city. And together, these forts turned San Juan into one of the most heavily defended cities in the New World. Walking here also gives you a different perspective of Old San Juan. You begin seeing the city less as a tropical postcard and more as a military stronghold built for survival. We'll go from 1600s to the 1800s in just a few seconds. Now, let's go down the hill, because thank God we're going down. This is why I started you on the other side, so you don't have to go up this hill. And I'm going to show you right now. So that's the top. All the way down there. And you might not see in camera how steep it is, but it's really steep. Even if this was the first thing you did when you got out of the boat, it's still quite a walk. Finally, you arrived at Plaza de Colon. Puerto Rico a Cristobal Colon. This is the Cristobal Colon Plaza, built in the 1800s. And I know, sometimes some people are against, Cristobal Colon, Juan Ponce de Leon. Without them, this wouldn't be the place it is today. And that's just the reality. This is where the old city historically expanded beyond the original walls. Today, it's one of the liveliest areas in Old San Juan. By now, you've probably walked through over 500 years of history in just a few hours. And hopefully, you understand something important. Old San Juan is not just a cruise stop. It's not just colorful buildings. It's not just souvenir shops. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited European-founded cities in the Americas, second only to Santo Domingo, and one of the most walkable historical experiences anywhere in the Caribbean. And the best part? You can genuinely experience it in just one afternoon. You get off the boat, and as you go around Old San Juan, this would be the last stop before you go back into the boat, if that's what you wanted to do. This is about a 2-hour walk, and you go from south to west to north to east, back south into the ports. And like I told you, there are many stops along the way with food and water and beer and cocktails. and whatever you want to have when you're on vacation on a cruise. But at the same time, you want to know the culture, you want to know the history. And this is a good way to see it. Unless you go in the forts that would cost you each $10 per person, the rest is just free. The places I've taken you besides the forts, they're free. So all in all, if you get off the boat and you want to have breakfast in the boat and you want to have lunch in the boat, then you only spend $20 and you saw all around Old San Juan and some of the very cool historic places too. So how about that? And of course, back home, we can safely have a cocktail. The San Juan Iced Tea. The San Juan Iced Tea is a potent tropical spin to a classic Long Island. It trades traditional gin and vodka for a refreshing mix of aged and light rums. In this case, we're going to use 1.5 ounces of Puerto Rican light rum, 1 ounce of Puerto Rican aged rum, about 2 ounces fresh brewed tea. It can be lemon tea, it could be green tea, any tea you would prefer. The juice of 1 lemon. Very refreshing, especially for walking around Old San Juan during the tropical summer. Enjoy. Now from Plaza Colón, we walk back to the cruise ports. And as you walk down the streets, the cobblestone streets, you'll still see cafes, bars, and places where you can still have a local beer or grab something Puerto Rican to eat before you get back on the ship. And this route, it's just perfect because you'll end up in the same place where you started. And you, in 2 to 4 hours, would have seen Old San Juan and some of the most important structures in it. And we're back where we started, at the cruise ship ports. This whole area, this whole waterfront is cruise ports. So you can walk from here to almost anywhere in Old San Juan. You can also take some tours, grab a taxi or grab an Uber. I suggest an Uber. It only takes about 2 hours if you don't eat and if you don't go into the forts, because that's going to take you a little bit more, maybe an hour in each. So that'll make 4 hours, and if you have lunch, that's 5 to 6 hours. But still, it's a good time because usually ports arrive here early in the morning, 8 a.m., 6 a.m., depending, and then they leave around 5 p.m., 6 p.m., sometimes even 8 or 9 p.m. So you do have quite some times. But if you just want to walk around without nothing specific in mind, or if you feel lost once you get here, well, this episode is the episode for you. So if you're taking a cruise to San Juan very soon, save this video because it might help you out. And if you know someone that's going to be taking a cruise that will stop in San Juan, or that it starts and ends in San Juan, also send them this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share, because this is the way people know what I just told you. So thank you for watching. Have fun. I hope you enjoy San Juan next time you're in. Be good, be nice, explore a lot, get smart, and well, salud.